What if I told you that the real secret to overcoming objections had nothing to do with rebuttals or maybe even using the ARO formula that I teach myself? You might think I'm crazy, you might call me a hypocrite, or you might be super curious to see, well, what the heck is this guy gonna say? And I'm glad you're here. Because in this video, I wanna break down all the misconceptions around objections and help you become an absolute boss at tackling them so you can smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience, which is everything that I do here. So welcome or welcome back. Adam Bensman here. All right, listen, objections are one of the hottest topics in sales. And for many of us, we practice rebuttals, which I don't like that word and quite frankly don't like that approach because it's like throwing a right hook. I teach the ARO objection handling formula. But how can I even bring these up if I just told you that the real secret has nothing to do with how we respond? Well, the framework that I'm going to be teaching you right now is what's used by what I'll call the top professional salespeople. Folks like Jerome, who at 21 years old are closing at 76% selling retail, or folks like Matthew's sales team, which by the way, he posted this publicly in an industry Facebook group, that his sales reps who quote unquote couldn't save deals to close their lives are now closing 5 to 7 deals per week because they're using this framework. And that's what I'll be teaching with you here today. Now, if we leave it up to our customers to ask questions, there's a big problem. Number one, sometimes they don't know what to ask. This is a common theme if someone says, thanks for coming out, we got to think about it. It's often because you didn't leave them with enough information to make a decision and they don't even know what else to ask. So there's just this like empty feeling, almost like watching a movie and then the power goes out and you're like, well, how's it end? And then like an hour later, you kind of forget about the movie, but you still have that angst. And that's what's happening with our homeowners. Or number two, you're leaving it up to them to be honest with you, which is a big problem because they're usually not. In fact, most objections, they're just blowing smoke. When they say, I got to talk to my wife about it, that just means we want you out of the house. All right. And then number three, it requires them to voice their objection and for you to properly overcome it after they are concerned about it. So think of it like this. When you were back in high school, for example, and you were struggling in school, if you put your hand up and had a question, the teacher might call on you 5 minutes later, right? But by the time your hand went up and then when the teacher called on you, did you retain any of this? Chances are you didn't. And that's what's happening with our customers. So by the time they ask you a question, they've had this uncomfortable feeling. It's gotten bigger and bigger and they're not listening. And then finally they ask and everything else you shared before, they didn't hear. So what we need to do instead is get ahead of all of the objections. And this is challenging for some people, and it was for me when I was new in sales, because when I was new in sales, and let me know if you've done this as well in the comment section below, admit guilt, this is how we grow, we all get better, and we're not super proud of the past, right? But I remember being a newer salesperson being like, well, if I just do a really good job presenting and pleasing them, then they won't ask me those really challenging, difficult questions. Yeah, it doesn't work. So I learned this strategy by working in direct sales, even beyond my roofing experience, and specifically working with a law firm, I helped them increase their close rate of wanted cases from 76% to 90% week over week for 5 years running. And by the way, it was actually 90 to 100% of wanted cases for 5 years running, audited by a team of multiple people, 2 in-house, 1 external consultant, all by using this framework. So here's what it is. What we do is we overcome all of the big objections proactively throughout our presentation. I'm going to break down storm in retail for you right now. Common themes. If you hear it in a storm damage claim, let's hit storm first. Hey, the damage doesn't look that bad. I think we're okay. Remember your first, I call it the hail walk, where you're looking down, you're like, bird poop, lichen, yeah. That's nothing here. Nothing. Oh, no, that's footfall. No, it's mechanical. Oh, we got one. Then you bend down, you circle it, and then you're like, all right, we need 9 more. And I remember one time I sat down and I showed a homeowner my finger. I'm like, look, you got hail damage. And I remember the glance the wife gave the husband, like, they want me to replace the roof from that? And I felt the same way the first time I saw a roof replaced because I didn't get it. Or the next objection is, I don't want to file a claim because they don't understand why the insurance covers it. Or the other big objection, I want to wait and get 3 estimates because my insurance company told me. These are big problems that often if we do a great job presenting, we know they have damage. We'll get it, yeah, damage doesn't look that bad. You know, I really don't want to file a claim. Hey, my insurance company said I should get 3 estimates. And then how about on the retail side? You're going into the house, chances are you're not going to be the cheapest. I sure as heck hope you are not, because otherwise it's a race to the bottom. There's always someone willing to do it cheaper. I never ever want to be the cheapest. So top objection on the retail front, you're too expensive. Or the second one is homeowners have sticker shock and they're like, wow, that's more than I thought. So say, I want to see if we can get 1 or 2 more years out of our roof, or we're going to go ahead with the repair instead. And then again, just like on the storm side, one of the other big objections is I want to get 3 estimates. So if we wait for these to come up, we're too late. So instead, what we want to do is sprinkle these in throughout the presentation to provide context to our homeowners. And I'll explain a little bit how. In fact, a great video to watch to learn some of this is my video up here on why you should never tell a homeowner the roof is damaged. Okay, by the way, retail friends, still watch that video. The concepts apply directly to you. It's a technique known as framing. Then the other objections I'm going to overcome before I even present. Once I have the opportunity to present, which I, in my training system, ask for permission to pitch, the first thing I'm going to do is knock down objections 2 and 3, which is I don't want to file a claim quite yet, or the insurance told me to get a few estimates, and I don't want to pay my deductible, or someone said they'd eat my deductible, or can you help with my deductible? I'm going to tackle all of that before I even present. And on the retail front, I'm going to tackle the objection of we aren't going to be the cheapest, meaning you're too expensive. I'm going to tackle the objection of I want to wait, so that way when they go through these numbers, they're going to have a very compelling reason not to wait and to do it now. And I'm going to get past I want to get multiple estimates all up front before I even present. That way I've put the homeowner at ease and they're wide open with full attention to hear my entire presentation. Now, the last thing that I want to do is give you a homework assignment to do this. There's 2 things that you're going to do. Step number 1, I want you to get out a pad, a paper, and a pen. And I want you to put yourself in the shoes of your homeowners. Pretend that you're them. You know nothing about roofing and you are shopping for a new roof on the retail side. Or if it's storm damage, put yourself in that situation that you had a recent storm. And I want you to write down all of the questions or concerns that you would have as a homeowner. Things like, I don't want to be taken. I know roofers are scam artists. I've seen it on the news. I want a fair price, fair value, and I don't want to overpay, and I don't want to be featured on the news. Do I need to get multiple estimates? Put yourself in their shoes. Same on the retail side. List everything out. And that way, your presentation can speak to them, and you build a tremendous amount of trust because it's like you've joined the conversation that's already going on inside their own head. That's task number 1. In fact, I recently did this with Kennedy on our team when she jumped on board as part of her training. Imagine you're shopping, Kennedy, for a training program. I want you to list all the questions that you'd have. And she listed 5, and I was like, Kennedy, let's go deeper. And she ended up with nearly 3 full pages of notes and questions of what would be going through our mind. Is it a good fit? How long is it going to take? My team, are they going to use it? How long, do I have reporting and access to see what they've gone through? Is it going to get results? What happens? Is it too much information to give to someone? Are they going to start their own company? All of the big questions and objections she listed out. And as a result of that, has become a really incredibly powerful salesperson. And then your second task is very simple. Here's your second assignment. Write down all of the questions and all of the objections that you get. This way, when you present, you can say, many homeowners ask me, and the bigger and scarier they are, bring them up early in the appointment. And if you do these 2 things and just these 2 things from this video, thing number 1, write down as if you were a customer, all the questions and concerns you would have. And then number 2, write down all the questions that you get or objections, because you'll notice when you start to review those, they're different because not everybody is going to vocalize their core concerns for many, many reasons. They don't trust you, they don't feel comfortable, they're not consciously aware of them. So when we can address both of these, your sales presentation becomes wildly powerful. And that, my friend, is the real secret to overcoming objections without having to work on rebuttals or anything else. Because when you do it this way, the number of questions and objections you get reduce because they've been tackled up front. You build a tremendous amount of trust and you have a clear runway to go in for the close. Walk out of that house with not only a deal, but a pocket full of referrals. And that is what I'd love to help you do. So if you like this video and you want more, you're going to love my full sales system that will teach you all of this. To get access or to learn more, set up a demo. You can see and decide for yourself. I back everything with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's right. I put my money where my mouth is. So if you're not satisfied for any reason, I will buy it back. Now, you'll know very quickly if you'll love it or you'll hate it, and that's the whole point. It's a no-pressure appointment for you to see it for yourself and be your own judge. So the next steps for you would be to click the link in the description below or text the word DEMO, D-E-M-O, to 303-222-7133. And again, I have packages available for an individual sales rep or a company, team, management. We got you covered. All right, so text DEMO, D-E-M-O, to 303-222-7133. My call to action is this: put this into practice. Make your list of all those questions and concerns, write down your top objections, build them into your appointment proactively, and you can even open up with many people ask me, or many homeowners are thinking, and here's the response. And there you have it, my friend, the real secret to overcoming objections without relying on rebuttals, formulas, or anything else. They're great to have for when you need them, but when you do this the right way, they come up a lot less. Here's to you and your team smashing your income goals and giving every customer an amazing experience. We'll see you in the next one.